the United States and Canada, two neighboring giants of North America. Together, they span over 19 million square kilometers, stretching from the Atlantic to the Pacific, from icy Arctic tundras to sun-drenched coasts. Both nations are beacons of modern civilization, defined by multiculturalism, innovation, and stunning natural beauty. They share the world's longest undefended border, a common language, and deep cultural ties. Yet beneath the surface, their paths diverge in fascinating ways. How do these two countries truly compare? From population size to economic power, healthcare to education, and lifestyle to global influence, this is a tale. Welcome to Epic Insight. I'm Sham, your host. Today we delve into a compelling comparison between two global powerhouses, the United States and Canada. If you've ever wondered which of these nations might offer a better place to live, or simply deserves a spot on your travel bucket list, this journey is for you. Throughout this exploration, we'll present content rich with facts, balanced perspectives, and just a touch of friendly rivalry. If that sounds like your kind of insight, be sure to support the channel by liking and subscribing. And here's a thought to ponder. Would you rather live in the USA or Canada? Or perhaps which one would you visit? For the adventure, the culture, or maybe even the maple syrup? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's start with population, because size does matter. In 2025, the United States is home to approximately 347.3 million people, making it the third most populous country in the world, right behind India and China. Canada, on the other hand, has a population of around 39.4 million, ranking 39th globally. To put it in perspective, the US has nearly 9 times more people than Canada, but both countries have plenty of space to go around. When it comes to population density, the contrast is huge. The US packs in about 36 people per square kilometer, while Canada, just 4 people per square kilometer, making it one of the least densely populated countries on the planet. Looking at life expectancy. In the United States, the average person lives about 79.4 years, but Canada takes the lead with 83.3 years, thanks to a strong healthcare system and healthier lifestyle factors. Now let's look at the median age, the midpoint of the population. The US has a slightly younger population, with a median age of 38.5 years, while Canada's is older, at around 41.1 years. An aging population can lead to increased healthcare needs and a shrinking workforce, something both countries are monitoring closely. And what about fertility rates? In 2025, the US averages about 1.62 births per woman, while Canada's rate is even lower at 1.48. Both are below the replacement level of 2.1, which means natural population growth is slowing, and immigration becomes increasingly vital. So, while both nations are thriving, they also face significant demographic challenges in the years ahead. Geography. The United States covers about 9.83 million square kilometers, making it the third largest country in the world, just behind Russia and Canada. Speaking of Canada, it comes in at around 9.98 million square kilometers, securing the spot as the second largest country globally. So even though the US has more people, Canada actually has more space per person. A lot more. Vast forests, remote tundras, and endless wilderness, Canada is nature's playground. The United States is home to vast woodlands, with forests covering about 34% of its land. But Canada goes even further. Nearly 40% of its massive territory is blanketed in forest, making it one of the most forest-rich nations on Earth. The United States enjoys a diverse coastline, spanning about 19,924 kilometers, from sunny Florida beaches to rugged Alaskan shores. But Canada? It dominates the map. With over 202,000 kilometers of coastline, it holds the world record. From the Atlantic to the Pacific and deep into the Arctic, Canada's shoreline is a breathtaking blend of beauty and sheer size. Economy. Now let's dive into the dollars. GDP and GDP per capita. In 2025, the United States stands tall with an estimated GDP of $29.5 trillion USD, That makes it the largest economy in the world by far. Canada, while much smaller in size, still holds its ground with a GDP of around $2.33 trillion, putting it comfortably among the top 10 economies globally. But what happens when we break it down to GDP per capita, or income per person? The US leads again with a whopping $89,110 per person, while Canada comes in at approximately $55,890 per person. So, while the US is both richer as a whole and per person, it's also important to remember that higher GDP doesn't always mean a better quality of life. Let's now break down some key economic indicators that show how the US and Canada are performing in 2025. First up, GDP growth. In Q1 2025, the US economy actually shrank by 0.3%, while Canada's economy grew modestly by 0.4%. It's a small win for Canada, showing a bit more momentum early in the year. Now to inflation, a major concern worldwide. In April 2025, the US inflation rate was at 3.2%, while Canada, as of late 2024, sat much lower at 1.6%. Lower inflation can mean more stable prices for everyday goods. How about the rich list? The US dominates with over 700 billionaires, while Canada has around 50, still impressive given its population. And finally, the Big Mac Index. In the US, a Big Mac costs about $5.69, whereas in Canada, it's slightly cheaper at $5.29. So whether it's burgers or billionaires, there's plenty to compare in North America's economic heavyweights. Quality of life, starting with a major health indicator, obesity. In the United States, about 36% of adults are classified as obese. Canada fares slightly better with around 29%, though both numbers reflect modern, sedentary lifestyles and processed diets. Now, onto healthcare resources. In the US, there are roughly 2.6 doctors and 2.8 hospital beds per 1,000 people. Canada is close behind with about 2.7 doctors, but fewer hospital beds at 2.5 per 1,000. So while both countries offer advanced health care, access and outcomes can vary, especially when you factor in cost, insurance, and wait times. Education. The United States invests heavily in its education system, spending about 6.2% of its GDP, while Canada spends slightly less at 5.3%. But when it comes to school life expectancy, how many years a student is expected to stay in school, Canada edges ahead with 17 years compared to the US's 16 years. So, while the US spends more, Canada keeps students in school just a bit longer. Let's talk about happiness and peace, two big indicators of quality of life. On the Happiness Index 2025, Canada ranks 11th, beating the United States, which comes in at 15th. It seems Canadians are feeling just a bit more content overall. Now, the Global Peace Index tells a different story. Canada is ranked an impressive 6th, one of the most peaceful countries in the world. The US, on the other hand, ranks much lower at 121st due to factors like military involvement and crime rates. Next up, corruption and military power. On the Corruption Perception Index, Canada ranks 14th, showing strong transparency and trust in public institutions. The US comes in at 27th, still solid, but with more concerns around political and corporate influence. Now on to military strength, and here there's no competition. The United States is ranked number 1 globally, with the world's most powerful and well-funded military. Canada, while much smaller, holds a respectable 21st place. Conclusion. So, which country comes out on top? The United States impresses with its massive economy, unmatched military strength, and global influence. Meanwhile, Canada shines with its high quality of life, peaceful society, and strong focus on healthcare and the environment. Both nations have their unique strengths, and your ideal choice might come down to what matters most to you. Fast-paced innovation and global power, or calm, clean living and community well-being? Now it's your turn. Would you rather live in the dynamic, diverse USA or the serene, scenic Canada? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more epic comparisons right here on Epic Insight.